All good? Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you very much for coming here today. So today we are going to discuss about something that the underlying mechanism of the mind that's the reason that you feel that there's an existence. So ladies and gentlemen, this is something that we all experience in our day-to-day lives. Right now, at this moment, you experience everything that, you experience this as self. Do you feel self? Yourself? Right? You feel that yourself exists. And so within this talk we are going to find out who is this self and what is the mechanism behind this self, because right now everybody, every living beings in this world, they experience mental suffering. So every living beings in the world, they experience mental suffering, mental pain, negativity. Do you have? Stress, anxiety, depression. Sometimes you feel fear, not sometimes. You feel fear, grief, anger, all those negative emotions that we experience. These negative emotions always associate with this self, because if something happens to others, you don't care about them, right? If something happens to you, then that's where the suffering happens, suffering manifests. Let's say somebody, like, you don't know, nowhere, like let's say in Canberra, his father met with an accident and passed away. You don't care. You don't feel any difference to your life. You might feel like, okay, sad, okay, but that doesn't make you cry. But once something happens to you, let's say your parents or your friends' parents, that's where all these negative emotions manifest. When something like that happens, that closer to you, the incident that happens, when it gets closer to you, then what happens? Then you start to experience the so there's a correlationship between suffering and the incident. When the incident is coming closer, when it comes closer to you, when it comes closer to your, when it comes closer to yourself, then what happens? That's where you start to feel the suffering, the negative emotions, don't you? Somebody has an exam. Do you have a problem? No, you don't get stress. When there's an exam for you, then you have the problem. Let's say somebody is going to write the, what is the thesis defense? What do you call here? Final exam? Sorry, what I did? I can't remember the name. It's a final seminar. Nobody tested me back then. So when you are facing that, the end report, then what happens? Viva or something. Then you start to experience the butterfly effects in your tummy. When that thing happens to others, so your mind is minding your own business, right? Their mind has to mind their own business. Your mind has to mind your own business. When the incident comes closer, to you yourself, then that's where the triggering starts. That triggers all the negative emotions and fear, grief. Sometimes you call your parents. So they have to keep, if your parents are not here, then they have to listen to you. So ladies and gentlemen, that means now we can see there's a correlationship between suffering. I'm talking about mental suffering. Mental suffering is very closer to what? The self. When the incident is closer to the self, the mental suffering is there. Mental pressure, whatever. You can call everything, you can put everything in this phase. Anger, hate, everything you can put under this phase. So I'm talking about all the negative emotions that you experience collectively in this case. When the incident gets closer and closer to you, you feel the suffering, you feel upset, you feel annoyed, you feel melancholic, and you hate. Imagine if your friends, let's say you have an enemy. When your friend is talking to your enemy, then what happens to you? You don't like him, right? Remember that? Have you had this experience at least at your school sometimes when you're schooling? When your friend is talking to your enemy, right, then you don't like, hey, don't talk to her. You're my friend. He's my enemy, so she should be your enemy as well. My enemy should be your enemy as well. Then we both can come to a common ground and we can say, I'm your best friend. See, ladies and gentlemen, then you have this experience. Right? All the time, you feel upset about something that happens to you. You don't feel upset about something that happens to others. If the others are very closer to you, okay, then you start to feel that upset as well. Don't you? So in this session, right, what you have to do is you have to you have to listen actively. It's I'm not going to hypnotize you. So I'm talking about the reality that you experience. So because Ladies and gentlemen, there's a hidden process in the mind that we need to surface it up, we need to find it out, we need to realize it. That is the like deep-rooted mechanism that triggers all these negative emotions. That's why you came here. You came here to find it out, because you know that you have all these negative emotions. You get sad. The moments that you experience, like different incidents. If I draw your daily life, you have this kind of mindset. What? Sometimes happy, sometimes sad, sometimes happy, sometimes sad. You don't have this kind of mindset. You always feel fluctuations. Don't you? In the morning, you have good mood. Sometimes people say, right, you woke up in the wrong side, right? In the morning you have a good mood or bad mood, and sometimes happy, sad, when you're rushing out for a meeting, and when there's a traffic. Then what happens? This is what happens in your mind. This is what happens to your mind. There's a fluctuations always. What I want you to come to a situation, come to a mindset, that if you can have this kind of mindset, where the incident is there, but you don't have any fluctuations. So ladies and gentlemen, that should be your target. This is the way to rest in peace. Rest in peace rest in peace is something that you can do while you're living, not after dying, not after death. It's something that you can experience right at this moment. That is what Buddha found. That is what Jesus explained. All the religions are talking about this. There's a science behind everything. Even though you're studying different, like science and technology, but all these things, you are using mind. Nobody studies about the mind. It's like, the car has a detection system to detect its malfunctions. But nobody is checking the detection system, whether there's a problem with the detection system. Because detection system doesn't have an ability to check itself. Do you know what I mean? Like, you feel, you get because you have a mind. You are using your mind to perceive what's going on in the outside. If there's a malfunction in the mind, then what happens? You don't know whether you have it or not. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem that we all have, but we don't know that we have this. What? There's an issue in your mind. I'll show you. I'll prove you. There's an underlying mechanism, the rooted in the mind, that triggers all these negative emotions. That's why you have spending a lot of money. To what? When you are having bumpy rides, right? When you suffer, you need to bring it up to happy, right? Then you need money for that. And then what happens? Can you keep it? No, it goes back. Then you need again money. I know that we all need money to live. Right? Money can't make you happy. But I know that in your case you feel money can make you happy. I know that. But in my case I know that no. Money can't make you happy. because there's no happiness in the money. The note, AUD, there's no happiness inbuilt in there. But people feel, people indulge in pleasure. Everybody, every living beings. But if you have a peaceful mindset like this, then, ladies and gentlemen, you will use your life for the purpose that you were born. Otherwise, you can't use your life for the purpose. Because at the moment, if I ask you what is the purpose of your life, you don't know what is the purpose of your life. At the moment, you have a purpose, that is do a PhD or whatever the degree or whatever that you are following here. That's your purpose, and after that, after you finish that, then what happens? You have another purpose. Then you have another purpose. It's like this glass of water, the glass. It has a purpose to hold something liquid. Apart from that, there's no other purposes. Somebody right, made this glass to hold water or liquid. But in your life, no, Swaminasa, no, Bhante, we have so many purposes. We can change our purpose. Depends on the situation. I want you to find out why you were born as a human being, ladies and gentlemen. Because all the other animals, all the other living beings, they don't have this ability to reflect about themselves. But you have this ability to find out whether there's a problem in your mind. Dogs, animals, they can't do that. They don't have that ability to check them, to self-reflect their problem. Because since we were born, ladies and gentlemen, we have been looking at the outside. We have been looking at the outside world. We have been pointing our fingers towards the outside world, right? The suffering happens because of other people. Suffering in my mind happens because of the incident that happens in the outside. No, incidents are neutral, ladies and gentlemen. There's no value behind the incidents. All the incidents are neutral in value. For example, did you hear a clapping sound? So what's the value for this? Can you give me a value for this? Give me a value. $5? You can't give me a value. You can't give a value for this. It's neutral. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something new. See, now what happened? Now I trigger some curiosity, and then now whatever that I am going to do is valuable to you. Value is something that we projected because of what? Because of the void that happens in our mind. If I can make you, if I can trigger you, if I can make a void within your mind by saying something, by giving you point of views, then what happened? Then your mind vexed for that. That's what happened to you. That's why you have started PhD or degree or something here, because when you were small or when you were on the way, right? You heard that people are doing degrees, people get more money, people earn a lot of money, and they live happily ever after. That's what you heard. So then you thought, okay, this should be our life. So you decided to come along this pathway, and now you are suffering. Ladies and gentlemen, we all are suffering for our happiness. Suffering for happiness. Think about your life. When were you happy? Throughout your life you were suffering for happiness. Happiness didn't come to you, but you were suffering for happiness. When you start you will start a job recently, you will find out. You think, oh, after starting a job I can live my life by myself. No. Ladies and gentlemen, we all are slaves. We don't know that we all are slaves. We think that we are doing all these works and everything is like this. All the activities that you have done them. Don't you feel that? Who is doing the PhD? Who is doing the degree? I am the one who is doing the degree. Tell me. Yes. When you realize the reality, then you will find out, my goodness, it's not me who is doing the degree. Sometimes you might feel a little bit shocked after listening to this talk, but ladies and gentlemen, this is something that we need to understand. All the incidents in this world are neutral. There is no value. We have projected value on top of these incidents, because if that incident is closer to the self, then you have projected value towards that incident. That's what happened. That's why I want you to think in this way. Otherwise, as usual, you will be projecting your fingers to the outside, saying that, what? Incident is the problem. I am okay. It's like this, ladies and gentlemen. The self is okay always, right? Your self is right? What you feel, in your family life, when you have arguments with your parents or with your better half or other half or partner or wife or husband, who is right? I am. I am always at the pedestals, and I am right, and I am perfect. Perfecto. This is how you feel. You don't feel I am wrong. It's hard to come to that level. I am wrong. No Swami, no Bhante. I am right. But sometimes I might be wrong. That's also I am right, but according to them I am wrong. It's also, right and wrong always what? It depends on the person. So I am always right. Do you have this kind of feelings? Attitudes? Not attitudes, this is how you feel. The religions and all these Eastern philosophies, they are talking about non-self. They are talking about how to get rid of self. But here, I didn't come here to get rid of yourself. Let's start to find out, what is this self? Who is this self? Because, ladies and gentlemen, the being, you all feel beingness, right? Being, you are a human being, right? You are not human done. Human being. Something going on, right? You are living. You are not, how can I say? You are living. Always you do activities, you go here and there, and you are living. You are a living organism. You are not like this chair. It's not done. It happens. Happening. You feel happy, sad, and all these things happens because of your being. Because chair doesn't feel happy or sad, right? Being. So we need to find. We are going to delve deeper into this architecture behind the being. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you feel this self. You feel there's a self, and self is doing all these things. You live for yourself. When you eat something, how do you feel? I mean, when you eat something, how do you feel? Do you feel that you are eating for somebody else, or you are eating for you? Where do you exist? Under the head, between the ears, behind the eyes, in front of the back head, the back. So no, in the inside, right? This is where you exist, right? That's what you feel, isn't it? Under the head, right? In between the ears, behind the eyes. What do you have there? People who have done biology. A piece of muscles, right, or something, part of brain. Is it you? Is that thing is you? Let's say people have found, let's say the scientist one day would be able to replace that part with somebody else's part. Then is that now you are going to become the other person? No. When you feel sad, how do you feel? When you feel sad, which part that you feel the pain? Here or here? The person exists here, but when he feels sad, he start to experience the pressure in where? Here. Don't you think it looks like a ghost that live in? I mean, there's no. I mean, physically you can't find anyone. For example, I mean, think about this, ladies and gentlemen. If I exchange one cell by one cell with your body, right? Slowly I exchange one cell, and one cell I am giving to you. Likewise, if I exchange your cell, all the cells with my cells, whatever that exists here, then would I become you and you become me? What do you think? No. Other people now might start to feel what? Swami Wahanse, the Bhante is not there, it's there, and you are here. That's how other people feel. But whatever the beingness that I experience, would that experience become you? No, ladies and gentlemen. It's impossible. It's not something like that. Think. Ladies and gentlemen, since we were born, right, throughout our lives, you know what we have been doing? We have been feeding, we have been working, we have been helping, we have been fulfilling this ghost who lives within your body. It's like a monster. It exists, but cannot find it out. When doctors cut open your brain and heart surgeries, they won't be able to find yourself there. They will find heart and brain and other things. Right? So where does this person exist? Because mental suffering is very closely associated with self, right? When incident get closer to the self, that self experience the mental suffering. That means, ladies and gentlemen, we need to find out where is this self and what is the problem with this self. Then we will be able to map why this mental suffering is coming to this self. And let's try to find out where is this this monster. If I take your eyes and let's say I'm doing a surgery, I'm taking your eyes, don't worry, I'll fix it, right? I take your eyes and keep it in here on the table, and your nose, beautiful nose and lips and everything part, right? Which one is you? Where do you exist? Here or here or here? Which part is you?
Everything.
Everything. Have you seen that sometimes, these octopus, when some Chinese restaurants or these restaurants, when they cook them, they cut into two parts while the body is moving, right? Okay. So have you seen that after they cut into two parts, the head is like this and the limbs are like this? Limbs, right? This is what we call. They are moving as well. This is also moving. So which part is that octopus then? See, I told you, there's a ghost living. There was a ghost here, but now you can't say where is the ghost. You're going to find out where is this ghost. The thing is, ladies and gentlemen, throughout your life, what you have been doing is feeding, nurturing, nourishing. You are doing your PhD or degree, whatever that you are doing. Why? For whom? Tell me. For myself. Right? Remember that when you were small, right? The first year, grade 1, not first year, that's in university. Grade 1, what did you write? I still remember every day I wrote, because sometimes you have to write essays. I hate writing essays. You know what I did? I wrote myself. I know that I can write easily myself. Because I thought that I know myself. When you write myself, are you writing about me or myself? My name is blah blah blah. My name is blah blah blah. Right? Okay, are you writing about me or my things? The name is something that people have, your parents have given to you. No. I don't want that. Talk about you. How old are you? Let's say 35. It's your age. It's your address. No, I want you to talk about you, not your things. Can you do that? Your habits. See? Your stuff. No, sir. I want you to talk about you, yourself. You, not your body. See, body is also where? Body also belongs to you. Okay, get rid of the body because it's something your stuff. Take out that. Who is you then? Who are you? Who is you? Who are you?
There's nothing called it.
Nothing called you. But don't you feel that? Don't you feel that you exist? Am I talking to ghosts? Am I talking to human beings? Okay. Good. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? You should respond to me. Can you hear me, ladies and gentlemen?
Yeah.
Yes, okay, then you are here, you hear me, right? So there should be then you to hear. If you are hearing, if you are the person who hear, who hear this, if you are the person who hear this, right, then you would be able to not to hear this. Because you are doing an action to hear, then you would be able not to hear this. Okay, don't listen what I am saying. Okay, butterfly. Don't listen. 𝗘𝗃𝗏𝗁. Cow, donkey, deer, bee. Don't listen because you are listening, right? Then stop it. If you are doing the action, then you would be able to stop that action because you are doing an action to listen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching, if you are looking, if you are watching, if you are the one who is doing it, then you should be able not to do that. You should be able, right? There should be ability in your side that okay, I can stop this. Can you see colors?
Yeah.
When you recognize a pen, the recognition happens with colors. Initially you recognize colors, then you recognize pen. The recognition process, initially you recognize colors. Because if I get camouflage in the red color area, then you won't be able to notice that Bhante exists, because initially you experience colors. Right? Okay. If you are watching at colors, if you are looking at colors, then you would be able not to watch or look colors. My logic should be right? Because if you are doing an action.
Can you close your eyes? Like you can control closing your eyes?
Yes, try, close your eyes. Everybody, let's do that. Close your eyes. Try not to see black color. Try not to see black color, okay? Come on, yeah, you can't. You can't do that, ladies and gentlemen. It's something happens. You can't stop. You you can't stop processing, because the processing happens. When you eat something, when you eat something, don't you feel taste? You feel that you are sensing taste. You feel that you are sensing taste, right? Okay, then you should be able not to sense taste while you are eating. When you eat, you should be able not to sense taste. Can you do that? No, the sensing business happens. There's no control with that. Ladies and gentlemen, sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. Sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts. Even though you feel that you are doing that, actually you are not doing that, isn't it? It happens, isn't it? You are not seeing. Seeing happens. We can say sighting happens. When you say seeing, when you say seeing, you feel that seeing means seeing associate with the doer. There's a doer behind seeing process. Actually, seeing, we can say sighting. Sighting.
When we don't focus on, like I'm walking on the road, then someone come in front, but I'm deep in thoughts. I don't see.
Now you see.
No, I see, but I don't recognize.
Yes. Still, you don't recognize, but recognition doesn't happen. You feel that you are the one who recognized, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, try not to recognize this then. Don't recognize, okay? Can you do that? No. Your mind is a process that happens after the incident. When incident happens, you can't stop the process. Process keep happening. For example, right now you can see Bhante, right? You can see maroon color. The perception of maroon color happens in your mind because of the light rays comes into this robe, whatever this robe, cloth, and there's a pigment there, and it got excited, electrons get excited, and it goes back to the ground state, and it emits another light ray that comes to your eye. Are you getting ready your eye? No, you are not conditioning your eyes, right? Which comes to your mind, which comes to your brain, and once it's entered to the brain, then what happens? The feeling arises and passes away. Do you have this experience? This is how you feel, this is how you experience. Incident happens, and then perception happens. Perception comes after the incident. Perception can't have expectation before the incident, because perception is a byproduct of. It's not byproduct. It's a reaction. It's an action. It's a reaction that happens after the incident. Do you understand this? In order to see whatever the light and this cloth and your eye and your brain, all these path of whatever the signal comes has to align, has to be aligned. See, can you hear this clap? Can you hear the clap? Why? Hear the clap then. Because, okay, hear the clapping sound. You can't. Now what happens? Can you hear now? Okay. Then the thing is, it's not you are hearing, ladies and gentlemen. Perception happens after the incident. After the vibrations triggers here, that triggers the cascade of reaction that comes to your through ears and your brain, and that triggers the perception. But you know, there's in the Taoism there's a nice saying, master does everything. When master finishes his job, nobody no, it's like this. Master does everything. Nobody knows the existence of the master. When master finishes his job, people say, amazing, we all did it by ourselves. Don't you feel something like that? Because master means the whatever the natural the cause and effect nature, like the process, natural process. When this incident happens, perception happens, but you are claiming that you have seen that. You are the one who perceived it. Do you understand? Incident happens, perception happens. After the incident, perception happens. Perception can't have an expectation of an incident, because incident is, do you know what happens next? Do you know what will happen in the next moment? Then how can you expect? How can you expect that you will get a degree? Tell me. How can you so sure about that you are going to have the degree? Ladies and gentlemen, when I was doing my PhD, initially we have to, give thesis proposal. You call thesis proposal here? I don't know. Tell me the jargon here. I did in ANU, Australian National University. The proposal, initial proposal. Then after that, we are going a mid-term report or something. We did, and towards the end, we wrote the thesis, right? The funny thing is, when we write the thesis, we write it as, okay, I had this idea and I did this experiment and I came up with this kind of results, and now I am proving that this is the findings that I found from my research project. Happy. But if somebody check your proposal, what would you find out? It's completely different. You have started something else, and then you ended somewhere else. But when you're writing, when you're presenting, you said, no, I was thinking about this at the beginning, and towards the end, then I found it. It's like sometimes people say, don't cook, thinking that you are cooking this. You cook something, and then let's give a name after that. Right? You start to cook dal curry and you ended up in dal soup, right? Something like that. Sometimes when newly married couples, they experience this. Don't cook. We'll give a name after you cook. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. When this incident happens, this incident doesn't have an idea that perception will be like this. Perception is the cascade of reaction that happens towards the end. This is what you have been experiencing throughout your life. You don't have control at all. See, I proved to you that sight, sound, taste, smell, touch, thoughts are not under your control. Thoughts, thinking. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why there are exams. If your thoughts can be controlled, then there's no exams in this world. When you read something, if you remind everything that you read, then you can't have exams. when you read the question, right, the thought happens in your mind with the memory, what? This is the answer. Is it something that you are bringing, or it comes to you when you are reading the question? I mean, you feel now, no, you are bringing it. That's what you feel. I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about in reality what happens is you are not under control what thought comes to you, because now think, right, after this moment, like next moment, what do you feel, what you will feel thoughts, what comes to you? Do you have control? Can you get that thoughts again? Can you predict? No. You are living a life like 𝗘𝗃𝗧, whatever will be, will be. The future is not ours to see. 𝗘𝗃𝗧. Next moment, you don't know what will happen. But you think that, no, I have the control. So, ladies and gentlemen, all the processes, mental processes, the minding process is not actually what? Controlled. Controlled means there's no controller. It happens. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, process happens. One after the other, after the other, after the other. It's like a dominoes. Not Domino's pizza, but Domino's effect. Let's contemplate. Today, you woke up. After you woke up, what happened to you? What came to you? Sleepy. And then you sometimes, most of the time, you take the phone. And who told you to take the phone? Nobody told you. But did you wake up? Or wake up happens? Did you wake up or wake up happens? It happens, and after that thought happens. Thought came to your mind to check the phone, and you took the phone, or because of that thought, hand went like this, and phone came to the hand, and then are you looking at the phone, or because of the light pixels that emit colors or light rays that triggers the pictures, triggers the colors in your mind, that is what sensing business happens. That's where sensing business happens. There's no doer. It happens, ladies and gentlemen. After that, then another thought came to you, you should be hurry up, it's getting late. And another thought came to you. After that happens, another thought came to you, what? Go to the toilet and get ready. Because of that thought, legs start to move. I mean, don't you feel that it's like a engine, jing. Like one reaction after the other. One reaction is an effect to the next reaction. Here I am going to show you an example, then you would be able to understand this. What actually happens. Okay? Have you seen candlelight? Now there's a candle. The wax is there. It's there as well, wax. And then oxygen is nearby, oxygen molecules. oxygen molecules come closer to the wax, would there be a flame? Huh?
No.
Sure, of course no, right? Then what do you have to provide to this system in order to make a flame, create a flame? Nitrogen?
Fire.
Fire? What is fire?
Heat.
Heat energy, right? Let's say you provide heat energy, using another flame, you provide heat energy. That means, what do you mean by heat energy? You provide energy. Because of that, molecules get vibrated. As a result of that, now what happened? Oxygen and wax react. React means what? Now they are acting separately. React means what? Reacting. What is reacting? This oxygen is acting with this oxygen, wax is acting with wax. Now what happened? They break, go away, and they mix with each other. See, react. Sometimes, some people are these best friends. That's act, and after some incident happens, they separate each other and they make another friendship with somebody else. Now what happens? React. Now what happened? Because of this oxygen molecule, they break the bonds and mix with the wax, mix with whatever the fuel here. As a result of that, now you can see what? A flame. Agree? So ladies and gentlemen, it should be like this, right? What do you have here? Heat, oxygen, wax. Flame consists with what? Flame consists with what? Oxygen, heat, wax. Is there any fourth party joined into this party? Apart from oxygen, wax, heat, is there any other party, another factor joined into this process? Joined? No. When you are making a burger, bun, patty, lettuce, cheese, and the top part. Burger is that. There's no. The fifth component called burger comes to here because all the components were there scattered, and you arrange them. That's an arrangement. That's what you call burger, a burger. Agree? Something like that. They were separated, but because of the heat and oxygen and wax comes together, now what happens? They react. As a reaction, react means what? Mix each other. That is what we call a flame. Do you understand that? Agree? Now this flame is the first. This flame is consisted with first wax molecule, let's say a molecule, and one oxygen and heat. So this generates heat as well, ladies and gentlemen. Do you understand that? This flame generates heat as well. Agree? You know what happens? Because of that heat that generates, it attracts what? Another oxygen molecules, and it wax through this whatever the thread to the top. The first incident makes all the causes for the next incident. Then what happens? Then there's heat as well, oxygen is also coming closer, wax is also there. Now again flame is there. Because of that flame is also now generating heat that attract again oxygen molecules, attracts the whatever the wax, fuel, and the flame will provide the heat. As a result of that, it creates another moment of flame. Now, if you closely look at this, then ladies and gentlemen, this is something like a self-driven process now. Isn't it? Because when causes mix together, it creates an effect. That effect is attracting more causes to create another effect. That effect attracting more causes to create the third effect. That effect attracts other causes to create the fourth effect. Likewise, now you will see a constant flame. Did you get the example? Clear? Is there a constant flame, or is there a flaming? Is there a process of flaming? It's not a flame, ladies and gentlemen. It's flaming. ing, flaming. Why? It's a process. It keeps going on. You can't say there's a flame because there's no a flame. Did you get the point? There's no a flame because why? There's no a flame. It's flaming. It's a process. It's like an engine, two pistons. Have you seen party whistles? When you blow it, what happens? Have you seen party whistles? When you blow it, what happens? It unfolds, right? And while you were blowing, it kept unfolded, right? It unfolded. Is it something fixed, or because of the air is passing through, it's maintaining that position? It is not something done, it's being. You understand that? For example, like this. If I hold this pen like this, have I done holding? Or am I keep doing this process? Whatever the energy that I exert, that the muscles be exerted, right? To pump energy, to hold this up, it has to be kept going on. It's not something, ladies and gentlemen, done. It's not something that you can say fixed. You know, do you get the point that when I say fixed means what? Fixed means done, because there's a process going on. Always process. It keeps happening. Do you understand that? It keeps happening. It's not something done, it's being. It's a process. Like this flame. Okay, now let's move to your life. All the experience you are having is whatever the effect right now attracts the next moment causes. As a result of that, you start to feel the next moment. This moment attracts the causes to the next moment. This moment attract causes to the next moment. Like this flame. Have you came across that future is today? Your future is today. Future is today. Because whatever that happens right now, that creates the condition, that creates the effect, that creates the causes, that attracts the causes to create the next moment. So, ladies and gentlemen, is there a doer then? Is there a doer, or this moment creates the next moment, creates the next moment, creates the next moment, creates the next moment? Who is doing this flame? Tell me. Who is creating this flame? Is there a flame? Is there a flame? Is there a flame? No. It's flaming. It's a process. Who is behind this process? No, I'm asking, who is behind this process? Is there a God or somebody who is behind this? Is there a doer, or this is like one cause after the one incident causes this, the one incident make causes to the next incident, make causes to the third incident. Likewise, it's a cascade of reaction happens based on the causes that are available. Yeah, dominoes, same thing. What do you think? Who is behind this? Cause and effect. You can say cause and effect, nature. Is the process that behind this. It's a flaming process. It's not something done. It's not something fixed. It's not something, completed. It's a process. So, particle is not something done. When you blow it, while you are blowing, what happens? It keeps maintaining that the position, the length. As well, here also, while you are holding like this, right? You are not holding. The energy has to exert each and every moment to keep in this position. Now tell me, is there a flame here or a process there? How about your body then? Which electrons, protons, neutrons are fixed and doing nothing and sitting there, freeze and okay. Any cell that actually rests in peace in your body, doing nothing, fixed. When we were small, we learn, cycles, frogs' life cycle. What you had? Eggs? No, what do you call toddler? Tadpole, yes. And then? In Sinhala we call Natigemba. There's another stage like this with, legs. and then the frog. When you say, okay, there's an egg and there's a tadpole, is there a tadpole, or this is the manifestation that happens because this tadpole is actually being the next stage. It's not fixed, it's not done, it's something, a process. In the bit, it was in the middle of a process. It was keep going. That's not done, it's being. When you are taking the photo, while you were taking the photo, what happens? It was in the process of to becoming what? A frog. Do you understand this? It's not a fixed thing, it's a process continuously happening. It's not done. Happening, maintaining. Now think about, ladies and gentlemen, all these things in this world, they are not things, they are beings. This chair is also not done. That is also what? All electrons, protons, neutrons are holding in a particular way, in a particular arrangement, because of the attraction forces. They are not done, it's holding.
Sometimes we can say everyone is acting.
Everyone is acting, everything is acting, because there's no thing, there are actings. Because this, whatever the glass of water, is it the same glass of water right now that it was there, or this is being glass of water? You know these molecules, people who have done chemistry, tell me, these molecules, do they rest in peace or do they doing something? You know, this is an arrangement of molecules, and because of the bonds, it keeps there, it holds there, like, you know, it's not fixed, it's like this flame. So you can see there are trees, right? Is that the same tree that you saw yesterday? Is there a tree, or is there a tree being? Tree or tree being? Tree being. Is this building, or is this building, or is this building? Is this a building, buildan or building? Why building? Still building. Your body is not body done. It's bodying. It's being. It's a process. Your mind is also like this, ladies and gentlemen. It's not done. It's a process. It keeps happening. Seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching, thinking, smelling, thinking, smelling, hearing, smelling, speaking, smelling, like this different combination that happens. It keeps happening. It keeps happening. You can't say there's fixed entity there. So we were in the process of finding out where were you, right? Where are you? Now tell me. We have found that all the things in the world are not fixed. All the things. Is your cloth is done? Whatever that you are wearing? Is it something done, or it's being? Being a cloth. This is being a chair. This is being a glass of water. Waterfall. Is there a waterfall in the waterfall? Or waterfalling? We can classify it all, we can categorize all these nouns are not nouns, they are what? Processes. They are verbs. So Mr. Saman is not a Saman. Mr. Sam is not Sam, Samming. Because your body, you are referring to your body, right? So you are not youing. Then how can you say that? See? This is you, okay? This is you. And this is all the other things in the world. We are going to now find out characteristics. All the things in the world, they are not things, they are what? Beings. Why? They are processes. You know, have you seen rainbow? Is there a rainbow or rainbowing? What are the causes behind the rainbow? Sunlight, rain, water, sunlight and rain, right? There's no you can't have a rainbow without a cloud and a storm. Okay? So when causes mix together, causes are mixing and creating effect, that effect attracts the causes, then mixing happens, as a result of that effect is there, and then it creates another causes, it attracts the causes, and it creates an effect. So it's like a self-driven processes. All of these incidents, whatever that you can see, are self-driven processes. Not self-driven means they are not doer. They are processes. Okay? Clear? Now think about your mom.
I'm just wondering, like, if you talk about being alive or having a conscious, would you say like that glass of water, because it's being through the electrons, you wouldn't say that's alive?
Yes, because there's no mind there. These are energy density is high, right? The density of energy being aggregated, there's high energy here. Electrons, protons, neutrons are energy aggregations. Densely aggregated energy, E equals mc squared. Remember Einstein's equation. These are aggregated energy. The aggregation level is lower in liquid. The aggregation level is lower in the air. The aggregation level is even lower in the light. The aggregation level is even lower in the minds. So minds are made out of energy. That energy is the finest aggregation level of energy. That's what you feel as colors, sound, taste, smell, touch. Yola, son of God, sons of God, children of gods, children of God. Which God? Energy God. Because your body is part of energy, your mind is part of energy. Not part of energy. Aggregation level is high in the body, aggregation level is low in the mind. because light is also an aggregation level of energy. Like there's an aggregation in the energy. The density is lower. Your mind is there. I mean, don't ask me where's the mind, because you have it right now. You are experiencing it. And don't ask me how do you say that they are energy. Don't eat and drink and sleep. Don't eat and drink. What will happen? Perception won't be there. So that means all these processes are energy driven processes. What is the definition of energy? No definition.
Energy cannot be destroyed.
No, that is not definition. Grade 6 science. An ability to do something is called energy. That's the definition of energy. Okay. Do you have an ability to think? Okay, then that should be doing something, isn't it? Okay. If there's a process, that process has to be coupled with energy, otherwise there's no process. See, even in the flame that you have witnessed, what? Heat, energy. Wax is also energy. What is that? Mass is what? Why do we call mass as mass? Have you seen mass in the church? Church mass? What is that? Why do they call church mass Sunday mass? MASS. Why? Gathering. Gathering. This is also gathering. It's a party. It's a gathering. Who are the people who gathered here? Not people, like who gathered here? Energy. Okay, this is energy gathering. Energy is having party here. How about here? Energy is having party. And how about this building? Energy is having a party. These are united parties. In Sri Lanka, we have politician, United National Party. Right? These like united parties. Did you get the point? Likewise, your mind is also energy, ladies and gentlemen. Now tell me, the characteristics of all things in the world are beings. They are not fixed, they are not done, they are not entities. Entities means fixed, something staying. But we can say there are processes, right? Processes. Process. Being, not fixed. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, how about you here? Are you a process or do you feel that you are a process? Is there a flame? Is there a flame? No, flaming. Okay? When you refer to yourself, do you refer that youing or you? Ladies and gentlemen, your you is fixed. My me and your you. His, he, her, she. Does it make sense? When you were showing your photo when you were a kid, how do you say, this is me when I was small, this is me when I was schooling, This is me when I was going to university. That means, ladies and gentlemen, when you are referring, you are saying that you constant, you there, your body changed. See, you are talking about yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. You are not talking about you. I think people who have came later, we will discuss this. When you are writing myself essay, you are not writing about you. You are writing about yourself. I mean, your things, your name, your birthday, your things, your body, your habits, and your things. No. Can you write about you? No. You can't write you. It's like a ghost, monster that lives within the mind. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, now this is the problem. You feel you are fixed. You are not being, you are done. And here, cause and effect. Here, you are the doer behind all these processes. Who is doing the PhD? Bhante, I am doing the PhD.
Yeah.
Who wrote the exams? I wrote the exams. Who has the mark? You know, the marks? It's my marks. Now, don't you feel that, don't you think that all the world, all the things that exist in the world have different characteristics, only you have special characteristics? This is weird, isn't it? What's the time now?
11:40.
I don't have time. I can't see the. So, ladies and gentlemen, good that I asked the question. Otherwise, I will keep talking. No, who is this self? Who is this you? Where are you? Inside your body? Outside your body? I mean, body is, okay, if you put body, where can you put, here or here? There. Mind? Here or here? Is there a mind or minding? Can you hear this sound? Can you hear that? Clapping sound? Can you keep it with you? Keep it with you? Keep it. Keep the clapping sound with you. The perception that happens, can you keep it with you? Or it happens when incident is there, then it goes away. Right? This moment, incident happens, perception happens. Incident happens, perception happens. You can't keep it. It's a process then. It's like when you're drawing something on water. Can you keep it? It's a process. While you are drawing, you can see, and after that, you follow me? Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem we all have. This is the architect of the being. You know what? Shall I crack open the Pandora box then? Do you want to find out what is this? Ladies and gentlemen, here I am telling you, this is also what? Ladies and gentlemen, this is also a sense, a feeling. Now try to understand. This is like sometimes you might feel like puzzling. Okay. This is also a sense. This is also a feeling. Okay. I mean, mind start to experience, minding process start to experience a sense of self. All the senses are sensors or sensing. Sensing beings. That means whatever the causes that comes together create an effect that attracts the causes to come together to create an effect that attracts the, it's a process. Do you understand that? There's a hidden process in the mind, ladies and gentlemen. That process is also happening. That process always creating a sense of fixedness, done, doer. That means, ladies and gentlemen, all the incident, all the perceptions are defiled with this process of self. It's not a self, it's a sense of a self. The sensing process happens each and every moment like flame. Now tell me, is there a fixed self or is there a sense of self? Is that sense is a sense or sensing? Then that sense experience it as a self. But this sense experience it as a self, next sense is also experience it as a self. Is it the same self or just self? Then, is there a you in you? You or you wing? Tell me, yaar. It's like, when the dynamo is rotating, light bulb is switched on or happening. You can't say switched on. Like it keeps switching on. It keeps happening. It keeps blinking. Like that. Okay. Now this is the problem here. Whatever that sense is telling is it a true or lie? This sense is telling fixedness. Is there a fixedness in the world or even that sense is also a process? Now tell me, is it a true sense or is it a false sense? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the false sense of existence. Because there's no existence in this world, ladies and gentlemen. All are processes. But there's a process underlying your mind that because mind is ignorant about the minding process, as a result of that, there's a sense generating in the mind each and every moment, recognizing that mind itself as what? An entity, as a fixed and a created done be done, something done. Right now this happens to you. Right now it happens din 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 din. Right now in your mind this sense is happening. So it's something like this. Because of the idea of fixedness, there's an idea that fixedness is there. Doer, there's a doer. There's an idea. As a result of that, there's a sense generated. What is the sense? You means fix, doer, done. Do you understand this? Because of the idea, there's a sense generated, and this sense is nourishing this idea. Because that sense is bearing that idea. As a result of that, it keeps happening like the flame. Is it a right idea or wrong idea? Even that sense is what? Is it fixed or is it a cause and effect? Then is it right or wrong? Wrong. So when you realize the reality in the world, that there's no you, it's a sense of you and it keeps happening. It's not something done, it's not something fixed, it's a process. Ladies and gentlemen, now what you're telling to your mind is, this idea is wrong. When you contemplate on the reality like this, then what will happen to the sense? It will slowly reduce and get rid of it, get away, eradicate, decayed. It's like this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's say there's a flame and you bring an ice cube near the flame, then what will happen? No, I mean you're now touching the center of the flame. It will eradicate, right? The process will stop. Something like will happen, ladies and gentlemen, when you are realizing the reality that at the moment all your minds, all the living beings that exist in the world, their mind is sensing a fixedness. There's a doer and there's something the done, like the building is something done, the chair is something done, this glass of water is something done. There's a flame. When you are saying flame is dancing, you are saying flame is dancing, right? Flame can't dance. There's no flame to dance in a flame. Do you understand my point? There's no flame is there to dance. That means you can't say flame is dancing. It's because of the causes come together, the manifestation keep changing. Likewise, ladies and gentlemen, because of the idea, wrong idea, there's a wrong sense. When you change the wrong idea to right idea, then what will happen? This sense won't be there. Are you clear? Right now, during this lecture, what you have done is contemplating. Madam, this is like a meditation, what you have done. Because I was keep telling examples to make you feel what is the reality behind this world, because you're sensing. I mean, since you have practiced this for eons and eons and eons of your lives, still you will sense, no, there's fixedness. But when you start practicing this in the opposite way, realizing the reality, right, then you won't experience this the wrong, the false sense of existence, the false sense of self, the false sense of fixedness. Imagine that Brisbane. When I say Brisbane, how do you feel? Brisbane. It's there. Done. No, it's Brisbaneing. You can't say Brisbane is something done. People are moving here and there, keep building, and it's a hell of a process there, out there, and you're saying Brisbane is done. Australia. You know the seashore? You know the beach? The waves are coming and taking the sand. It's a process. So can you say 100% accurately, can you define the diameter? Area. Can you define the area of Australia accurately, 100%? Then you have to ask, Bhante, which moment? This moment or this moment or this moment? Ladies and gentlemen, this world is at flow. There's no fixedness. That's why you can see cycles. Rain cycle, nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle. That's why people can see cycles, and you can see bicycles as well. And when you come, sometimes you come out from the house, right? You know that your phone is in the pocket, right? Sometimes you remind, oh, phone. You keep checking whether phone is there, right? If phone is with you, do you have to check again? No, because that sense went away, and there's another sense has to be there in order to confirm what? Phone is there. Because your phone is also not a phone. It's phoning. Ladies and gentlemen, these electrons, protons, neutrons, whatever they are, it's being held together. It's not something done. Right? When you are reiterating this process again and again and again, then now you are entering to the world that you start to feel as it is, the world as it is. The sense of self, sense of existence, sense of fixedness won't be there. Slowly eradicate, slowly decayed, slowly withers away. Ladies and gentlemen, as a result of that, who is the culprit behind the suffering? Who? Not sense of self, self. Because when sense of self happens, that sense of self doesn't know it's a sense. When sense of self happens, that sense can't sense it as a sense, it feels it as a self. Try to understand that. When sense of self sense, there's a sense, that sense is telling a self, right? That sense can't understand it as a sense because it feels it as what? A self. That's why, ladies and gentlemen, you don't feel that you are a sense, you feel that you are there, you have sensing business. That is your mind. When pen perception happens, there's a self-perception happens. As a result of that, pen self happens. That's why you're saying a pen. Even though this perception is also a process. You don't feel it as a process, you feel it as what? I am doing. See, you can't do anything. Then have you done your PhD? Ha 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 ha. Which then, I mean, in reality, ladies and gentlemen, you can't offer a PhD. You know why? The person who started is not the person who the sense of self that started the PhD is not the sense of self that is there in the towards the end, because you can't say the flame is flame, because flame is a process. It's flaming, they mean sensing, then self is also selfing. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the architect of being. There's no architect. This is the architect. What is the architect? Wrong idea. 2500 years ago, Buddha found by himself, this is the problem that generates the suffering. This is the problem that generates the negative emotions in the mind. Because of that, mind is having a wrong idea that about the world, the natural status. Because world is at a flow, but mind doesn't feel in that way. That is the deep-rooted problem that triggers the suffering, negative emotions in the mind. That's why you can feel suffering. I don't feel suffering that I was feeling before, because I am practicing this. As a result of that, practice makes perfect. And the sense of self that I have been experiencing since I was small is now decayed. As a result of that, I don't feel suffering, fear, grief, anger that I was having before. Then are you the same person who entered to this room? No, because you are like a flame. Jin, 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 jin. Right at this moment also you feel that, what? Sense of self. So, don't trap. There's no self. It's a sense of self. Because your mind can't mind beyond the minding process. Mind is minding a self. That is the problem. Now tell me, don't you think this is the ultimate solution for all your problems? If you get rid of this culprit out of your mind by changing the right view. Have you listened? Right view in the Buddhism? Okay, this is the right view. I mean, this is the meditation that you have done. Now 2 hours you have done a meditation, but were you closing your eyes? Welcome. Welcome to the desert of reality. This is the reality. In the reality there's no entity. In the reality there's no entity. Entity means fixed things. Economy, is it a fixed thing or flow? Flow. Take everything in the world, you will find out they are not there. They are beings. If you can understand this, ladies and gentlemen, you don't have to go for counseling and psychiatrist, because this is the ultimate solution for this. It's free. Have you paid for this seminar? Because whatever that You are saying something like that. Remember? Money, something invaluable. What do you say? Something invaluable, you can't put value, right? That's what you say, right? This is invaluable, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ultimate profound wisdom that Buddha found by himself after attempting millions of years, after dedicating his life throughout his generations and generations. Thanks to our teachers, thanks to my teachers, we got this message, we got this profound wisdom. That's why we practice. That works. Believe me, it works.
So can I ask, what do you practice? Meditation mainly, or thinking, or meditation?
Reflecting meditation. Reflecting means, madam, I'm reflecting the reality. Right now, throughout this...
I understand this, I agree with you, but I just wonder, what is your practice?
Yeah.
What is your...
Yes. So, when I'm preaching to you as well, I practice. When I'm walking, when I'm sleeping, when I'm sleeping part is, no, we can't, but I mean, when day-to-day activities, we can experience in this way. So that is what we call present moment, because present moment is the present moment, is not the present moment. Have I put you a conundrum? Present moment is not the present moment, but the present moment. Present moment is not the present moment, temporal present, but the moment that is being presented. You know, presentations. Now what do you have? Presentation of Bhante. What do you have now? Presentation of pen being. Presentation, the processes. That's why you can experience this world as a video, you know, moving, and it's dynamic, right? Because it's not fixed.
If you see a snake and like it bites you, wouldn't you feel fear?
No, I might feel pain. Because when snake bites me, first thing is I should feel pain, right? So this is, madam, I haven't attained 100%. I haven't get rid of this 100%, right? When we in the path, I'm 100% sure that I will, because day to day I'm practicing this, day to day I'm reflecting that this process, I'm eradicating this idea, right? That's the battle that you have to start. At the moment you are doing so many other battles, right? So this is another battle that you have to start, but you are not even touched. You haven't touched that battle. You haven't even started. You haven't even thought about that. You have this battle. Huh? How do you?
How do you know?
How do?
How do you know? How do you know?
How do you know? No, okay. It's because you need to find a teacher to show this problem.
But you cannot assume.
No. I know what you mean. It's like this, madam. When I'm telling you to wake up. I'm not putting a seal that, oh no, you haven't started. I'm saying, no, wake up. This is something we have to do to battle against this sense of self. See, that means you're not, most of you because I lived your life 2 years ago, now 3 years ago, right? I know what you are doing. This is not alien to me. These lecture halls, I was doing lectures here like 3 years ago. Now I am doing something here, completely different, saying, no, that was wrong. This is the right thing. That's why my ask of you is, let's start this. Let's start fighting against this idea of, the wrong idea of that we all possess.
If you're saying there's processes, right? There's being. How can you assume that there's a right or a truth if everything is changing constantly? Does truth changes in the same way?
No.
Why?
When you say everything is changing, now you're also trying. You are now in the trap, because there's no thing to change. It's a process. All these are manifestations because of the process. So, sir, the truth means the beingness is the truth. There's no truth. There's no truth called truth. Right? But now you are having a wrong idea of this beingness, because you don't feel in that way, you don't sense in that way that everything is a process. All are processes. Right? The truth is that all are processes. That is the truth. Right? You can't say there's a truth and then truth is also a process. No. World has two ideas. That is fix and process. These are the two ideas. This is the ignorant idea, the fixedness. The truth is a process. It's because that this is something like this. There's a false sense of existence. The truth is to realize it as a false sense of existence. Did you get the point? There's no truth apart from that. But when that realization happens that it's a false sense of existence, that is the truth. I can give an analogy. There's a court case. The darkness has filed a court case against the truth. And the judge came, and the light also came, or the truth also came. The darkness or false didn't appear. Then judge is asking, what happened to the darkness? Because we need to ask to do the court case to propagate this. We need the who filed the prosecutor. Then the force is saying, no, I can't come here. The darkness saying, I can't come here when the light is there. Right? So there's no a separate thing called light apart from the darkness, ladies and gentlemen. What has actually happened here is there's a false sense of existence when the realization happens that it's a false sense, that is the truth. So then you can't say truth is also changing, because changing doesn't apply here. The word called change does not apply in this context, because if there's something changed, that means there should be something fixed before the change. It's like
Shall I add? I think my understanding, I think truth exists in relation to falseness. So when we let go of the falseness, we don't worry is there truth even.
When you realize the false, then there's no another thing called truth. The realization of false as a false is the truth. That makes sense, yes.
I'm curious, what was your initial PhD proposal?
Initially I I was doing cell-free protein synthesis. Cell-free protein synthesis.
Okay.
Outside the cell, so you extract the cell out and you create the protein synthesis. So my initial proposal was to create a large-scale cell-free protein synthesis to produce enzymes in industrial level without using bacteria. Right? You know where I ended up with. My thesis is developing molecular tags using cell-free protein synthesis to NMR and EPR. So nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy and electroparamagnetic resonance spectroscopy. So there are two types of area. So what we have done is, that was my proposal, and we have used cell-free protein synthesis. The cell-free protein synthesis is there, but not for the industrial scale. That was my proposal, but then it ended up with doing work. I worked with C. virus protease and COVID-19 COVID protease. So it's like more viral proteins. See, it's completely opposite. I was trying to go into the industry, and this is where I ended up with. You know, when you look at the thesis, you can't see that. In the thesis it says, I planned this, and that. This is the nature of the world, ladies and gentlemen. You know, world W doesn't know it belongs to world. When you say world, then you realize I said world. When I say you don't know what is going to happen. World. Causes come together to create the effect. Yes, sir. Right.
I'm kind of keep reflecting on what you're saying in the context of the society. So, for example, there are some powerful things happening in the world right now, and what you've been saying, how do we discern within what is right or wrong, or where do we take some agency to change? I'm scared to say this word change.
That's fine, no.
Is anything in our power? Should it be, or is everything naturally being and processing without us interfering with that process?
Yes, madam. There's no us, there's no you, there's no selves. There's a sense of self, right? Sense of self is a process that happens in the mind, each and every living beings. That sense of self can't recognize it as a sense. It feels there's an entity called self exists within this body. That's what you feel. On top of this realm, the chaos happens in the world. All the fights, all the wars against what? This country against that country. Okay. This country collectively feel what? Sense of self. This country collectively feel what? Sense of self, and then sense of us. Sense of us. Now we feel that is not us. This sense of self is not this sense of self. Now they are not us, we are not them. Now what happens? The fight starts. Now tell me, how many people here? Like 20, 30? All your bodies consist with electrons, protons, neutrons. All your mind is also consist with energy. Electrons, protons, neutrons are energy. Now tell me, what makes you differ? Is there any difference between you guys? Truly, in the molecular, the energy levels. No, this is kilojoule, 100 kilojoules. This is 105 kilojoules. This is 200 kilojoules. This is There are different levels of aggregations, ladies and gentlemen. You know, the secret thing is, shall I tell you a secret? Your you and my me are identical.
It's only the sense of the attachment of the self.
Yes, your sense of self and my sense of self are, there's no difference at all. But the irony of that is, that sense of self feels it as a self, it doesn't feel it as a sense. As a result of that, no, me is not you. Go away. You are you, I am me. And my me is here, your me is there. That's why when we were small, we fight with sister. I had two sisters. So what happens? We fight against them with them. When father brings something, no, I need the big portion. Why? Because my me is here. 𝗑𝗃_𝗧 is not my me. My me is not 𝗑𝗃. 𝗑𝗃 is 𝗑𝗃, my me is my me. I have to feed my me, not 𝗑𝗃. This is the problem. That's why, madam, you can't have what is right, what is wrong, because if I take this side is right, then you are also wrong. If I take this side, if you take the other side is right, then there's another, okay, then you are also wrong. Because there are no sides here. All are unique. There are no uniqueness in this world, all are same. That's why Jesus said, what? You all are children of God. So love thy neighbor. You can't love thy neighbor. Why? You can't love thy neighbor because why? You is not neighbor's neighbor. You know, that is the false sense of uniqueness that you have. See, time's up.
I will add, Swaminas, when you practice this, actually you feel different, like you feel a lot of compassion, and world is doing wrong, but you are changing. When you are changing, your world is changing. World will have war, whatever, but you still feel they don't know what they are fighting for, like that. You feel very
Because every war out there is ending with, there's no winners in the war. Both sides are losers. But there's a war that you have to start with your ignorant self. You can't blame others, ladies and gentlemen. This is that you have to fight against your Mara, your enemy that lives within your body, within your mind. This sense of self, it's a false sense of existence. That is the architect of the being. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you.